Supporting you on your compliance journey. Meeting and maintaining your compliance requirements. This final part of the module explains what ACFID has in place to ensure your organisation meets the compliance requirements. Plus, we'll leave you with some additional resources to help you and your organisation maintain compliance over time. First, let's look at the full suite of mechanisms ACFID uses to assure compliance with the code. We will touch on these briefly, as you can find more information in the code document itself. The first is the application for ACFID membership. This is where new applicants submit a self-assessment of compliance against the code and a range of key documents that are reviewed by ACFID. The applicant must satisfy all 32 commitments outlined in the code to be assessed as code compliant. Then, once an organisation becomes an ACFID member, it publicly promotes its commitment to the code and the code complaints handling process on its website and in its annual report. This ensures that anyone who has a concern that an organisation is not compliant with the code has a clear pathway to report their concern. Members submit their annual report and financial reports to ACFID each year and also report any problems that have arisen with compliance and how they were resolved. Once every 3 years, ACFID members complete and submit a self-assessment against the Code of Conduct. This is a reasonably comprehensive self-assessment exercise against the whole code and for a small number of selected compliance indicators. Members will also submit sample documents that verify their compliance. ACFID reviews members' self-assessments and supporting documentation, and members are required to comply with any requested remedial actions. In addition to these mechanisms, ACFID undertakes spot checks from time to time. It chooses areas that are especially important from a risk and a quality perspective. And finally, as we mentioned before, the code has an independent complaints process. This is essential to the external credibility of any self-regulatory code of practice. There is a complaints handling process which is published on the ACFID website. It is a fair and independent process, and there is an opportunity to appeal. The Code of Conduct Committee is the independent body that monitors adherence to the code and investigates complaints. Anyone can make a complaint. In the event of non-compliance, the member will be required to submit a plan that outlines how they will become compliant within an agreed timeframe. If a member does not achieve compliance within that period, a set of sanctions may be implemented. So now you have a good grasp of the code, how to navigate the document, and how to ensure your organisation is compliant, it's important that you know that support is always available to you. ACFID provides some fantastic learning and development resources to help members implement the code and work towards better practice over time. In addition to the quality assurance framework, ACFID provides tips, guidelines and resources for members in its online Good Practice Toolkit. You'll find this in the Use the Code section on the ACFID website. This is a fantastic resource to help members implement the code and work towards better practice over time. ACFID also has a learning and development program where it provides webinars and face-to-face training on a range of areas directly related to the commitments in the code. Members are strongly encouraged to share these opportunities with their board members, staff and volunteers. The code covers many, if not all, areas of an organisation's operations, and so it is vital that all staff, volunteers and members of the governing body of signatory organisations are aware of its requirements and how they may impact on their role within the organisation. This brings us to the end of this video. We hope you found this training helpful and enjoyable. You will find there are a couple of final exercises to do before the whole module is complete. Remember, you can always contact ACFID should you have any questions.